Hello friends, welcome back to Code Crush Coding. In the last few videos, we have learned how to create a table, how to insert the data into the table, how to update and delete the data in the table using the JDBC code. In this video, we will retrieve the data from database using JDBC and display it in Java console. So we have an employee table with columns ID and name. Now we will fetch all the rows and print them on the console. So as you could see, there is a data for 3 rows here, 1, 2, 3, and the names are Alice, Om and John, and we need to display them onto the console. So as we have seen, to create any JDBC communication, we have the 5 important steps, right? First one was import the package, then load and register the JDBC driver, then establish a connection, then create a statement, then execute SQL queries like select, insert, update, delete. Basically, this is for CRUD operations. And after that, we need to close the connection to free resources. So here we have already imported the package, right? Java.sql. Then we have registered the driver with the help of adding the library, here MySQL.connector. Then we have provided here URL, username and password. Then we have created the connection here with the help of connection and driver manager.get connection and passing the URL, username and password to it. Then we have created a statement. After creating a statement, we are executing the statement. So basically this was the logic for the delete here. In the previous video, we have seen this. Similarly, we have done for insert and update. All the links are provided in the description. Now same thing we need to do for the retrieving the data. Just the query will change, right? So I will comment out this part here and we will write the query here. String, let's say read data, and then we will provide here the query. The query is select star. We want to fetch all the data, so I will say select star from table name, which is the employee table, employee. This is our query here. Similarly, whatever queries we have provided for insert, then we have provided for update, delete. In the same way, we are providing the query for the select query, right, which is used for retrieving the data. Now instead of delete query here, now we have created here a connection, then we have created the statement. Now just we need to execute update the read data query, right, because this is the variable name here, read data. And one thing important here, instead of execute update, in this case we need to make use of execute query for retrieving the data. So I will say here execute query. So once you say here execute query, here you are getting an error. What does the error says? The error says type mismatch, cannot convert from result set to int. So basically when we were using execute update, it was returning us the integer value, right? So we were saying how many rows were updated, inserted or deleted. But here this statement is not going to return us the integer. It is going to return us the result set. And what is this result set? So result set is like a table written by the database. As we have this table with the columns ID, name, and this is the data that we are having. So this is being written as a part of result set. So result set is an object that holds the data retrieved from a database after executing a query. So once you execute a query, it will return as a result set which will have all the data from the database. So it acts like a cursor that moves through the rows of the result. So it is used with select queries. So as we are using the select queries, we need to make use of execute query, and then we need to store it inside the result set object. Now we will see how to use it. So instead of integer here, I will say here result set from java.sql package. Let's change the name here to rs. Now I will remove this part here. Now as this is a table being written from the database, right? So how we can print this? So to print this, we need to make use of some methods. So methods to retrieve data. Now we need to retrieve the data. So there is a method called next. So this is used to move cursor to the next row. And there are different methods like getInt, getString to fetch the column values. So if your column is having the value integer, then you need to make use of getInt. If it is having the values as varchar or string, we need to make use of getString. Now let me show you in this code. So here we need to say while rs dot next. So basically this loop will continue till the number of rows that are available. So I will say here rs dot next. So till the last row it will continue, so it will be able to fetch all the data. Then here you need to get the values. So in our first row, what do we have? We have the ID and name, right? So ID is of type integer, name is of type string. So here what we need to do, you need to have one variable here. So I will say here variable int ID, and then I will say here rs dot get int. I will have here get int, and I will provide here the column name. So what is the column name? The column name is ID. If you see in the database, the name is ID, right? So the same name you need to provide here. So that particular value will be now stored inside the ID. So now in the ID, the value 1 is stored. Again, I need to have the name here. So I will say a string name. Then I will say rs dot get string. Now I need to say get string because it is of type varchar, right? And then the column name. So what is the column name? Name. So these are my two values inside the first row. Now I need to print them. So basically in the loop itself, I will say here sysout, and then I will print it saying id is equal to id and name equal to name. Now let's save this code and try to run it. So see, we are getting the output here: ID1 name Alice, ID2 name Om, ID3 name John. So it is the same data that is present inside the database. So we are able to retrieve the data from the database. So what is happening here? The main thing is all the steps are similar. We need to establish a connection. Once you establish the connection, then you need to create the statement. After creating the statement, you need to execute the query, but this time it will return the result set. So you need to store it inside the result set object, and it will return the entire table. So what you need to do, you need to continue the loop till the number of rows. So how you can get the number of rows or moving through each row with the help of next method. So rs.next will be able to get each row, and then from each row you need to retrieve the column values. So first one was the type integer, so I stored it inside an integer variable. Second of type varchar, so I need to store it inside a string variable. Other thing I can do, instead of using the columns name, you can also make use of column index. Okay, so that can also be done. So how to do this? So instead of get int here, I can say a 1. So this is our first column, right? The first column is ID, and that I want to store. So I can just provide here the index. So if I save and run this code, still we will be able to get the output. Let's see that. See, we are able to get the output here. And now instead of get string, I will say 2. So basically it will say second column. So second column is name only. So I will run this code again. See, we are getting the output here same. So if I do the mistake here, let's say I say a 2 and I say a 1. Now the second column is name, right? But we are using the method here getInt. So what will be the output? Let's check that. See, we are getting the error, and what does the error says? Exception in threadmare for input string alias. So basically it is giving us the string value, right? The second column is having the value string, and we are trying to store that inside integer, so that is wrong, right? So for best practice, you should always use the column name. So instead of index, you should always go with the column name, because it will avoid any confusion and there are less chances of doing the mistake.